youth charter, which identifies and categorizes young people, youths between ages 15 and 35. That's what the African Union perceives as youth. And again, we also have the other classification by the National Youth Policy Document. This was put together. At least the most recent one is the one from 2009, which recognizes youth as people between ages 18 and 35. So these are different classifications when we talk about youth. But again, in terms of very clear definition, we're talking of a period of transition from childhood to adulthood. When we look at this period of transition, that fits into this age categorization that I have placed on the table. So here in Nigeria, when we talk about youth, we're looking at people between ages 18 and 35. And then you can't talk about them without talking about their characteristics. These are people who are very optimistic. They look at life only from the positive perspective. They are energetic, they have vigor, they have high risk ability. So he explains why you see some things happening in the news that are crime related and you wonder that, how did you think you were going to get away with doing this? These are attitudes of youth.
And then it looks like they don't know they will actually get caught.
Exactly. And again, on the other side, you also see inventions also come from the youth age. That's where you see people who are willing to experiment again and again and again because
curious young people.
They are curious enough. They have that high risk ability. They believe that things can happen. Certain things cannot happen to them. There's that belief of invisibility. So these are major characteristics when we talk about the youth population.
So of course, let me take you back to what you just said about youth doing some things and you see them being part of or leading violence. Why is it that young people can actually not stay on the positive side? You see some of them thugs that are youths, they are out, they don't live in the house. You see streets, young people, they live under the bridge. Some of them are conductors at young age, the drivers. They're not focusing on how to become a better youth, active youth in the community or the society.
Okay, unfortunately, the narrative, which you also just shared very clearly now, also is prevalent because of what we get in the news. Of course, you journalists will say that, when a dog bites a man, that is not news. But when a man bites, a dog,
that's news.
That's news. So, these are things that, of course, will be newsworthy. But again, I always say that for every young person you see out there who has actually done something wrong, who has, who has gone on the wrong side of the law, there are hundreds of other young people who are doing amazing things, who are underreported, because that's also another factor. It might be easy for a politician or someone with some high net worth in society to attract media presence to his or her events, but how easy is it for young people to also do this? Thanks to social media in the first place, several of the things we see our young people will actually do today may not have been things that we'll have been able to see them do, but because they can actually amplify things in their own direction from their own end, that's the only reason we actually have this. If we go back again and look at the National Youth Policy Document, of course it classifies young people between 18 and 35, like I mentioned earlier on, and there were 4 major areas of that document, just to say that, look, how do we bring young people into the fray of things? The document looks at issues around globalization, the impact of globalization on young people, on youth here in Nigeria. It also looks at issues around sexuality, talks about STI, talks about issues around life planning. Apart from that, he also looks at issues around access and use of, communication technology. That was a term, being, pushed around, bandied around at that point in time before we had, influx of tools of new media. And then finally, he also looks at intergenerational issues, which is where the interest really is now. That how do we ensure that, this generation of young people, this generation of youth between ages 18 and 35, for instance, can easily connect with, people of other generations, such that I am comfortable, an adult is also comfortable having me in the room and does not see my view as less important simply because of my age.
But that's very common in Africa.
So these are cultures again that we have to look at head on. When we talk about culture, which is the totality of human behavior, culture is dynamic. Culture is not static. Do we have wonderful culture? Yes, but there are certain cultures that we need to begin to move away from. If you look at the entire workforce in the country, the entire, internet architecture in the country, basically, it's run by young people. It's run by, youth of this country. people who understand the dynamics around this. But the culture here in Africa is that when an adult sits in the room, you have to keep quiet and just listen to that opinion. But societies that we have seen move around from this very rudimentary approach, what they clearly do is to see how they can actually combine values from these ones, combine values from, what these young people, what these youth are actually bringing to the table, and then also look at what this other older generation, and that's what the concept about intergenerational dialogue really is about, because that's the real way we can actually bring about development in the context of people, in the context of society, which is no longer just a single location. Because when we talk about society and community, we're not just talking about a physical location. There could be a community of jazz lovers in Ibadan, for instance. There could be a community of African literature lovers. So it's amorphous in that sense. It's not, but I'm saying very clearly that what needs to happen is that our older generation needs to understand that the energy that young people, that youth actually bring to the table is needed for societal growth. On the other hand as well, young people and youth also need to understand that the wisdom that the older generation also brings to the table is also important. But the older generation also needs to understand that wisdom at times comes early for people. For some other people, it comes very late in life. And so, of course, there are young people who can match adults, in terms of content, who have the experience, again, because of, some of these effects of globalization.
Wow. So what you're trying to say, in effect, is that we need each other to develop our country.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't say we don't need the old people, and then the young people too should be given their space.
You can say that again.
All right, the program is Office of the Citizen on Inspiration 100.5 FM, and the numbers to call to join the conversation are 0909 888 1500, 0909 888 1500, or 0703 232 4940, 0703 232 4940. Mr. Fagunrosi, I'd like to take you up on some of the issues under the National Youth Policy. And then I'll begin from globalization. As much as we want, globalization to exist, to stay in our country, have you also looked at the effects on developing young people? You see how extreme a lot of young people have gone in the name of globalization. How do you see this?
Okay, so every country, that's why every country has its own, strategy documents. Okay, do we
have a such strategy document?
Of course, we have the I can't recall the exact name it's called now. From the transition from where we had needs, we had the national economic empowerment programs. At some point we had with Vision 2020, which was talking about where Nigeria wanted it to be. I know there's a document, the ERGP, yes, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. That's the document presently being bandied around, by the government, as we speak, which means very clearly that, there are certain areas that government is actually interested in intervening in. One of them is actually agriculture. I know one of them, again, talks about security. Now, the point I'm trying to make with this is that every government at every point in time, once it recognizes that, the future of its country would be young people. There's a report, the British Council did on Nigeria and said that by 2030, Nigeria's greatest resource will no longer be oil, but will be its youth population. So the question is, between now and 2030, what is the strategy being put in place by the government to ensure that this resource is basically properly harnessed? Okay, right now we complain about our oil not being properly harnessed, and I'm hoping that when the time comes when we're talking about 2030, we'll not say that we're not basically bringing the energy of our youth into proper limelight. And I'll give you a very clear example. So you have the US came together, looked at the entire landscape of Africa, and said that, look, we need to begin to cultivate future relationship with this country. And one of the things they really did is what we know as the Mandela Washington Fellowship, which is which we have it today. Now, what's the strategy? The strategy is that in the nearest future, take the bright minds of Africa, have relationship with them. Then when the US begins to think about its own foreign policy, when its own youth are actually now adults, when our own youth here in Africa are also adults, it will be easy to actually communicate or get whatever you want from this country. But a country like Nigeria, we call ourselves the giant of Africa and all of that, it would not be out of place for Nigeria as a country to have come up with a program, similar to this, to say, look, we will bring you into the country to see our culture. We'll bring you into the country to teach you about our diversity and how we have managed it. We'll bring young people from other countries in Africa into our own, and then we have something maybe called, the PAN, Nigeria, whatever it is, that brings all these young people from Africa together, and then we can begin to say that truly, within this 54 nation, committee states that you have within the African Union, Nigeria is truly playing its big brother role. So it's beyond just, entertainment value. It has to come from strategy. It's long planned. It's not a short time. Yes, you may want to pick the low-hanging fruit. You want to give opportunities for young people. And that explains why, young people were excited about you win. That explains why we had things
Foundation.
like, N-Power, for instance, that, okay, young people are looking. But you need to also question, what is the long-term implication of these opportunities?
Okay, Mr. Fagrosi, I want to go on a commercial break, and when I come back, I'll allow you, share your thoughts with us more on that. Please don't go away. Office of the Citizen continues shortly.
Oluyole City, Ibadan, Atide. Check us out on 100.5 FM.
ẹ̀yin èèyàn rere ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́, iléyá tó ti wọlé dé bá wa láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà tó sì ń rán wa létí ìgbàgbọ́, ìgbọràn àti fara ẹni jì aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ tí òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Ànábì Ibrahim ṣe àfihàn rẹ̀. Ìdí nìyí tí olóyè Adéníyì Akíntọ́lá SAN ṣe ń kí gbogbo wa tọ́dún eléyìí tún bá láyé pé báríkàdé sálà ọ̀pọ̀ rẹ̀ láṣẹ lókè èpè lọ́lá Ànábì Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Olóyè Adéníyì Akíntọ́lá wá fi àsìkò rán gbogbo wa létí pé bá a ṣe ń ṣe pọ̀pọ̀ ṣìnṣìn ọdún kí gbogbo wa má gbàgbé lọ forúkọ sílẹ̀ fún káàdì ìdìbò alálòpẹ́ wa tá a mọ̀ sí PVC tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́, nítorí pé ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ kó wá wa o. A kú ọdún, a kú ìyèdún, ẹ̀mí ó ṣe púpọ̀ rẹ̀ lókè èpè.
Iṣẹ́ ìkíni yìí wá látọ̀dọ̀ Olóyè Adéníyì Akíntọ́lá SAN.
North, east, west, or south. We inspire both the young and the old. We are Inspiration.
100.5 FM.
All right, welcome back. It's Office of the Citizen on Inspiration 100.5 FM. I have Mr. Shola Fagunrosi in the house. And of course, we've been talking about youths, the role of youth in community development. That's what we've been talking about. And of course, our lines are open right away. The numbers to call to join the conversation are 0909 888 1500, 0909 888 1500, or 0703 232 4940, 0703 232 4940. Are you a youth? And of course, you don't know which part to belong in nation building? Please sit back, because you have a lot to learn today about yourself being a youth. Or you're a parent. There are things you could also learn for your kids. Please stay around. And of course, you can send us WhatsApp messages 080 9192 1005, 080 9192 1005. Those are the numbers to join the conversation. Mr. Fagrosi, let me, continue to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I was talking about different opportunities that government over time have brought on the table. But I'm saying that is this in alignment with their
current trend?
Yeah, with current trends. Is it that what we want for our youth basically is to pick up jobs like we have in some of these OES program? Is it that we want to make entrepreneurs of them? What kind of entrepreneurs are you looking at? Look, there was a time in the country when it was fine to be a doctor, a lawyer, and all of that. We're seeing the economy of, sports across the world. So if you look at, the different marathons that have, happened here in Nigeria, here in Ibadan, in Lagos, the ones in Obudu and all of that, there's a pattern. There are just about 3 or 4 of them from Plateau State who always come in. Next, always to the Kenyans. Why the Kenyans pick up, the gold and all of that. Then
they keep coming in.
And they had to now go back and say that, look, we can't allow this Kenyans always be the winner. So they had to set up a price and say, okay, the Nigerian price, which means so we have the Nigerians. And the pattern is that you have about just 3 or 4 of them from Plateau State coming into the coming into wherever location in the country too. And I did a study around this group, and this was what I found out, that these young people on their own sit down, They have a list of all the marathons that are supposed to happen in the country across, the year. Prices ₦1 million, €2 million, €3 million. And then they practice for these tournaments.
Wow.
Now, imagine if that was a government intervention to say that, look, can we look through the length and breadth of the country and begin to harness the resource?
Sorry, Mr. Fagnos, I have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. All right, we lost the call. 0909 888 1500. 0909 888 1500 or 0703 232 4940. 0703 232 4940. For WhatsApp messages, 080 9192 1005. 080 9192 1005. All right, back to you, Mr. Fagnos.
Yeah, so, I was talking about this strategy to say that, look, is it possible that you also have, governments, private individuals as well, people who, who have the resource and who want to be philanthropists saying that, look, I'm going to set up an academy, and what I'm interested in basically is to set up, an academy for track and field events. Is it possible we also look through the entire landscape of the country and say that, look, where are the boxers? You remember Michael, Mike Tyson was spotted, by his coach on the streets, to say that where are those young people who actually have this capacity and we can actually harness them when it comes to sport. But I'm saying that the long-term, strategy is what needs to be in place. There's a book called Unfinished Greatness, and it tells the story of how, the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo went ahead to, institute free education, which the Southwest continues to be ahead of. Now, it's interesting to note that one of the first products of free education in Nigeria eventually became MKO Abiola, who ran, for president in just a space of, less than 2 decades. So, the reality, the fact that is available is that we need more individuals to come into the space, and it has to be strategic. Young people themselves also need to, they also need to begin to look inward in terms of if we're not getting all the help we need to get from government, if government is not creating, the enabling environment, the safe spaces that we need. 2 weeks ago was International Youth Day, and we're talking about safe spaces for youth. If we are not having the kind of safe spaces that we really need to have, within the country, how do we ensure that young people can also begin to rise to the occasion? What are the strategies available for young people to actually do this? How do we create a generation of youths that are civically active and engaged? How do we create a generation of young people, for instance, who know that they also have responsibilities in and to society?
All right, it's Office of the Citizen on Inspiration 100.5 FM. You've been listening to the voice of Mr. Shola Fagunrosi. Well, like I just said earlier, you could call us to contribute. But are you a young person out there? Do you think you can make an impact? The numbers to call are 0909 888 1500. 0909 888 1500. Our lines are open. You could call us up. Share your views. Do you think government is not creating an enabling environment for you to, exhibit your activeness as a youth, as a citizen? 0703 232 4940. 0703 232 4940. Kindly call us. It's Office of the Citizen on Inspiration 100.5 FM. All right, let me quickly take you up again on the issue of, we'll just talk briefly about that, of sexuality, because, at this time of the day, we don't have to go in depth. Now, a lot of times in schools, young people learn, they go through, even from just 2, 3, they teach them about biology. Please, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right, go ahead. What's your contribution? It's Office of the Citizen.
It says...
The program is Office of the Citizen.
Okay.
You want to talk to us?
I want to talk to him.
All right, go ahead. We're listening.
Huh?
All right, the program is Office of the Citizen. Do call us back. Network is bad. 0909 888 1500. 0909 888 1500 or 0703 232 4940. 0703 232 4940. Those are the numbers to call to join the conversation. Our lines are open for you to share your views. And for WhatsApp messages, 080-9192-1005. 080-9192-1005. 080-9192-1005. All right, when we go on this break to listen to our headline news, we'll be back to continue the program. Please don't go away because Office of the Citizen continues shortly. Richard Ekpo with the headline news. Don't go away.
North, east, west, or south. We inspire both the young and the old. We are Inspiration
100.5 FM.
Inspiration 100.5 FM.
Headline News.
Wonderful morning. My name is Richard Ekpo. In the headlines, Muslims celebrate Eid al-Kabir as Islamic scholar says Salah celebration is a time for sober reflections. President Muhammad Buhari felicitates with Muslim faithful call for selfless service. National Chairman of PDP, Uche Secondus, urges Muslim faithfuls to pray for God to deliver Nigeria from current precarious situations. United States of America describes violence across Nigeria's reign of impunity. 3 reportedly killed in clash between political thugs of APC and PDP in Bayelsa State. Former Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio vows that APC will take over Akwa Ibom State come 2019 general elections. Muslim Lawyers Association in Oyo State expresses displeasure over current status of Nigeria, says country is promising. On foreign, Russia's attempt to launch cyber attack against U.S. conservative groups have been thwarted. And in sports, Paul Pogba's agents clapped back at Paul Scholes for criticizing the Frenchman. As headline news details at noon.
That partners with your family.
Inspiration 100.5 FM.
Any amendment to that electoral law has to be 365 days before the election.
It's real, thought-provoking and revealing. Politics across Nigeria, a foray into the dynamics of politics, governance and leadership to shape the society that we desire.
It means that your party does not actually know.
No, you're wrong. That's not true. It is the business of the court to know when somebody is coming to the court. When we got a judgment.
Join our team of analysts on politics across Nigeria to reshape